because if now NASA, as we see it, works with government, technically it means that we may have a very weakened opposition, because what does working with government mean? Does that mean that they get government positions? Does that mean they work within the structures of government such that now Raila maybe has a position and his principals as well, or rather the principals have a position? Where does that leave the opposition?
Well, opposition technically works with government because government is representation of the people. Opposition are also representing the people. So at the end of the day, you want the best for your community and your country, and that's what you're fighting for. And what opposition is to do is to criticize government on what they are doing, whether they are doing it wrong, whether there's mismanagement of funding, and they're supposed to be the whistleblowers of government. So they should be working together in that aspect, and that is the critique aspect of it. However, when we think of opposition in our country, we always feel that it's supposed to be the person who never agrees with the government. But that's not the essence of opposition. Sometimes if the government does well, opposition can agree with you when they do something well in a particular matter.
At the end of the day, it's meant to be for the better of the country.
Exactly. Exactly.
So when the government gets it right, then the opposition at that point can agree.
Yes.
But where they go wrong, then the opposition can stand up and say, raise a red flag.
Absolutely. And we have seen in countries like Germany where you'll have a particular political party. Well, Germany right now is in a standstill because of that, where a majority party has to select a minority kind of party to work together. And in that essence is to bring different ideas to the table when it comes to solving issues. So it is possible where people can agree, where government can work with opposition or a party with completely different ideologies from you and meet halfway and compromise for the better good of the public.
All right. Wakoli, your thoughts on our question today, where we are asking where we see the future of Kenya today, because really, this is not about just NASA and Jubilee. It is about the future of the country. And part of the push that NASA has or had was electoral reform, justice, the implementation of the Truth and Justice and Reconciliation. So where do you see Kenya now with this new development?
Some of the desires that the opposition wanted actually actualized in the moving forward of this country were issues of electoral reforms, the way you have mentioned. But we have seen a very opposing voice from the government, like these things can only be handled after elections or after some other things have taken place. So we are seeing a situation where the opposition, as it is now, having weak engagement, because I don't know if they are going to reach a compromise, a situation where the government and the opposition now says, okay, let's sit down and agree on possible reforms to move this country forward. But having said that, it's very, very crucial and very, very important to look into the grievances that the opposition has been raising. We are very clear in our mind that the situation of and distribution, lack of distribution of or proper distribution of resources is a key element in any progressive society. We have seen resources being distributed unequally in this country. We have seen appointments being skewed towards a given region. We have seen, issues affecting the common mwananchi, issues of poverty, issues of education. The other day you were highlighting here matters of schools, children learning in a very deplorable conditions. Those are things that need to be handled. And the issue of electoral reforms, we have been having these electoral reforms since 1997 or 92. And, every election year, we start talking about, this need to be changed, this need to be, put in place. And we do it so hurriedly to beat certain timelines. So we have a period of 5 years from now to 2022. Why can't we start this process, involve all stakeholders at this moment, look at the key issues that need to be addressed, and both the opposition and the government need to reach a compromise to see to each that we have very progressive laws and regulations when it comes to election, because people have said failing to plan is planning to fail.
Right.
And we will be in this game till 2021. That's when we are saying, oh, we need to restructure the electoral body. We need to have the chairman and the board out. We need to, those kind of things. So we need to start organizing now and involve all stakeholders. Let's involve religious leaders. Let's involve, there are so many workers who have proper or good intention for this country.
All right, Nerima, and I'm sure you'll be passionate about this. One of the things that we see